Mark Oda. It's been
Morning, Si.
2 months, I think, since we last spoke, and then we were sort of worried it might be 6 weeks with no racing, and as we know, it's only just started back again. Um, First of all, what have you been doing with yourself?
Uh, I guess. Well, I've got a new skill, gardening. So I've done plenty of gardening over the last 8 or 9 weeks, something I've never done before because I've never had the time. So I've done that. Obviously, the weather's been fantastic, so I haven't spent I spent virtually no time in my office at all. Again, I'd have been in there well every day pretty much for the last 25 years and not spending any time, which has been nice. I've enjoyed it, if I'm honest. During the period, I hadn't actually missed racing until it came back yesterday, and then I realised how much I'd missed it when I saw Newcastle yesterday. And the highlight of yesterday was getting the physical racing post delivered. That was fantastic. I've obviously been reading it all online since it stopped, but it was great to have it back yesterday.
Even I, a notorious type wad, went and bought it yesterday,
Did you?
just to get it. Yeah, it was good
Yeah,
actually. Alistair Down and the Lester Piggott interview. It was,
I thought they were tremendous. Yeah, and to be
yeah,
honest with you, all the way through, I think it's even though I've been reading it online, I think the articles in the Racing Post have been tremendous, uh, informative, and probably a little bit more positive than a lot of the media that we've had to endure for the last couple of months.
that wouldn't have been difficult, though, would it? To be
No,
fair. So the last time we spoke, you'd volunteered to be one of the NHS task force. So what happened
yes,
there?
nothing. No, nothing. I signed up, and well, I suppose that's a good thing, really, because it didn't, we weren't required, so I had to do absolutely nothing. I had an app on my phone which would alert if I was needed for anything, and I was never needed. So, and I'm not sure it's gone really quiet in the media as far as that's concerned. So, I'm not absolutely convinced that it was really that much required, but I guess they made the precautions just in case it was.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been needed at all.
Well,
So that
thankfully.
was really quiet. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thankfully. Yeah.
So have you been doing any sort of prep for the new season? Any form study at all?
No, I haven't done anything, Si. I think when we spoke last time, I think I told you that I tend to look at races. Um, I want to look at a set of runners and compare one against each other. And just looking at an individual horse's form for me has zero benefit. Probably is a complete and utter waste of time, and it's doing work simply for the sake of doing work. So, I want to look at horses against each other. I haven't reviewed any races. I haven't looked at one single race. I think I watched one race at Longchamp about 10 to 10 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, because it was racing. And that was the only race I've seen until yesterday at Newcastle. But it really was nice to have racing back. I'm not a flat man at all, but I did watch all of Newcastle yesterday um, because it was just nice to have it back. And obviously, it just showed. I hadn't, as I think I said, I hadn't realised how much I'd missed it until it came back yesterday. I really have missed it. Um, so yeah, jump racing won't resume till Southall on the 1st of July, but I'll watch the majority of the flat racing during this month. And I think jump racing is coming back in Ireland on or around about the 22nd of June or 23rd of June. So that'll be good to have jump racing back in Ireland as well.
So I mean, your living is back in horses, so you've had no income for a couple of months. Are you going to be all guns blazing, or are you going to pull your horns in a bit when it starts?
I think I'd judge it pretty much as I always do. So I guess I'd always be slightly careful about horses that you think might need races and might not need races. But again, you can normally see a trend, i.e., one trainers. So if you can see that trainers' horses are fit in the first week or two. And also, you can generally, if you look at a horse's form, particularly over jumps, I'm not sure it's the same on the flat, but you can see the horses that tend to run fairly well fresh and the horses that invariably need a run or two to get to their peak. And I wouldn't think that will change. But with everything, it all really comes down to the odds that are available. It's not what I think will win. It's about backing horses at a bigger price than they should be. And I think there'll be opportunities. And I always think, as far as jumpers are concerned, I've got probably a slightly bigger edge during the summer months because most people are looking at flat racing and looking at big flat meetings. And I tend to find that I'll find bigger price winners during the summer over jumps in handicaps, 16 runner handicaps at Uttoxeter, although we might be short of 16 runner handicaps, 12 runner handicaps at Uttoxeter, than I perhaps would where everyone's looking at the same sort of horses that I'm looking at during the winter. So I think the summer gives me a slightly bigger edge, although there isn't so much racing.
Okay, so when the racing does start in earnest and it's sunny, are you not going to be tempted to get back to your lockdown life and spend a bit of time in the garden?
No, I don't think so. To be honest with you, I've had enough of the garden. The weather's been fantastic. I've done more than I could ever believe, so I've kept myself busy. But no, I think I've enjoyed the break. I mean, it has been an extended break that none of us could have ever envisaged. Certainly, I'd have never envisaged what I've had. 10 weeks off. Never had. I think the most I've ever had since started doing this professionally was probably 10 days. And then you come back and you're catching up. So to have a break and to know that you're not actually missing anything. So you're not missing out. You're not missing something you've got to look at to worry about what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's been really good. And as well, anybody who's involved in racing, your whole time, your whole day is dictated by time. So I try to tell this to people who aren't involved in betting horses professionally, who've got sort of normal jobs, that they can get up and they can work a day and just get things going through the day. But when you bet horses, everything is dictated to by time. So when the prices come out, when the first races run, when the declarations come out, trying to get in enough form study and research in a relatively short period of time. And all of a sudden, so to have lived like that for over 25 years and then to have suddenly time of the day doesn't mean anything, the day of the week doesn't mean anything. I think it's been a massive asset. I've really enjoyed it. I think I've felt more relaxed than I probably have done for a considerable time. I haven't had a losing day since March the 23rd, which is good and unusual. So, but I'm very excited about the prospect. I think, great opportunities. I think there's probably going to be more turnover. Looking at the turnover on Newcastle races yesterday on Betfair, I think the first race turned over through prior and in running to over, I think it's just over 1.2 million, which is pretty much unheard of. I mean, the days of £1 million races, turnover races on Betfair, in the middle of the week are long gone. I haven't seen those for a long time. You might obviously see them at the festivals and Royal Ascot, but certainly on a bog standard Newcastle card, it was tremendous to see that their interest is still there, and possibly for the fact that there's no other sports going on, it may mean that more people become interested in horse racing. And I thought Sky Sports yesterday with Alex Hammond and Jason Weaver did a tremendous job, because they made it interesting, but they also understood that there was probably a new audience watching for the first time, and I thought they made it interesting throughout the day as well. So I hope racing will benefit perhaps from being the first sport back, or the first major sport back.
Yeah, plenty of positives to take out of it. Well, thanks very much for giving us your time again, Mark, and good luck for the new season.
Thanks.
And we'll speak to you again at some point.
Yeah, speak to you soon.
Thanks very much.